Hi everyone, it's me, Emily. Welcome back to Animal Tales. It's time to learn from another one of the coolest animals from the Bible. Today's animal is one of the most feared animals in the world. Its razor-sharp teeth, giant claws, incredible strength, and ferocious nature make it one of the scariest predators the world has ever known. Really? No, it's not a hamster. Today's animal from the Bible is the king of the jungle, the lion. And to show you all about the lion, we're going to take a trip to Africa and show you lions in their natural habitat. Here we go. Here I am in Tanzania, Africa, at the Serengeti Wildlife Reserve. We're about to go on a safari. It's my very first time to Africa, and I'm told we'll see lots of animals. But you know what I'm really hoping to see? A lion, the king of the jungle. I'm so ready. Let's go. Hi, I'm here with my friend Mordiki. She's our safari guide. Mordiki, I have a couple of questions about lions for you.
Okay.
First off, why are lions called the king of the jungle?
Well, the lions are called the king of the jungle because they're the most feared animal. In any fight, the lion will always win over any other animal. They're pretty strong and have very large teeth.
Wow. So are lions extremely dangerous?
Well, I would say they're pretty dangerous. A bite from a male lion is as powerful as 691 pounds per square inch.
Wow.
And one swipe from a lion's paw would smash another animal's skull. That's pretty dangerous.
Pretty dangerous. So what would you do if you were ever stuck in a pit with a bunch of hungry lions?
What would I do if I was ever stuck in a pit with a bunch of hungry lions? I think I'm gonna scream and pass out. I don't think I'll be able to do anything because I won't be able to go anywhere. That's pretty scary.
I think I'd be the same. Wow, that was so fun visiting Africa. But those lions looked really ferocious. Can you imagine being stuck in a pit with a bunch of hungry lions? Well, that's exactly what happened to Daniel in the Bible when he refused to stop praying to God. What happened to him? Did he survive the night? I don't want to give it away, but I will just say this. Daniel was a man who was always relying on God. This is Emily, and I'll see you next time on Animal Tales.
What's up? What's up?
Ah, yeah. What's up, everybody? It's me. It's the SKI to the double TLES. Skittles in the hizzy, and I'm ready to say, what's up? Today, we are talking about Daniel in the lion's den. So every time somebody asks you, what's up, you tell them. I'm not a scaredy cat, I'm relying on God. Daniel survived an entire night in the lion's den. I don't know how he did it. I know if I had to do that, I probably would definitely be a scaredy cat. Well, I'll tell you how he did it. Daniel survived that night with the lions, not because of his own power, but he was relying on God's power. So anytime somebody asks you, what's up, you tell them. I'm not a scaredy cat, I'm relying on God. And that right there is what's up. I got a rainbow of flavor, and I'm living for my savior. Skittles out, baby.
Hi guys, it's me, Cynthia. I hope you and your families are doing well. In today's lesson, we will learn and talk about Daniel in the lion's den, and it is found in Daniel, the book of Daniel, chapter 6. Okay, so Daniel was a great man. He was a great man of God, and he always did what was right. He was favored by the king, and his name was Darius. Other people in the kingdom, after seeing that he was favored by the king, were jealous of him. So they decided to make a plan to get him in trouble. So they convinced the king to make a law that required for everyone to only pray to the king. No more praying to God, just to the king. And so if you broke this law, you would be thrown into the lion's den with hungry lions. So no one wanted to do that, right? Except Daniel. Daniel didn't care. Daniel loved God so much that he knew that following this law was against God. So when he heard about the king's new law, he ran home and he prayed to God as he usually did. So there was no way that David would follow this law. So then Daniel knew that following this law would be against God. So there's a law. Of course you have to obey it, but this law didn't make any sense. So Daniel knew that obeying God was bigger and better and just wiser than obeying the law to only pray to the king. So he continued to pray to God, which is a good thing, right? And that's what we should all do. So he knew he needed God's help and strength every single day. Because of this new law, a lot of people were going to start being persecuted, I suppose, by the king's people. And so when the king's officials went to David's home and found him praying, they arrested him immediately. And they took him over to the king, and the king had no choice but to throw him into the lion's den. Now, he was thrown into the den, and a giant rock was rolled in front of it so that there was no possible way he could escape. And so Daniel was there the entire night. He was there the entire night. And I'm assuming and I'm thinking that since he was a great man of God, he was probably praying while he was in there. So the next day, I don't know what they expected, but the king went over and he yelled out, "Hey Daniel, was your God able to save you?" And much to his surprise, or I really don't know if the king was surprised or not, but Daniel was saved. He was saved. Nothing had happened to him. So this is what actually happened. God sent an angel into the lion's den to shut the lions' mouths. He was not harmed at all. So you see, Daniel was not saved by his own power. There was no way he could have possibly kept those lions from eating him. He was saved because he depended on God's power. Isn't that cool? That's a great story, guys. Remember what I've always tell you, even though we call it a story, it's true. Everything that is written in the Bible, every single word in the Bible is true. Even as unbelievable as it may sound, believe me, it happened. So, Daniel's relationship with God is what saved him. You see, Daniel was a man of character. And you and I can be the same. Daniel prayed every day, not just before eating, but just anytime he felt like the Lord was leading him to speak with him. Remember, prayer is having a conversation with God, right? And we've talked about being able to speak with God anywhere you are, any place, any time, about anything, right? And so I want you to think of other times during your day when you can pray, aside from, right before you eat a meal. Daniel was also obedient. He was obedient to God. And so he knew it was important to obey God, even when it was really, really difficult, such as when they put this law, right? Daniel knew that the consequences would be, hey, if you pray to God and not the king, you're going to be thrown into the lion's den. But he was obedient to God. And God tells us to trust in him and to put no other gods, no other idols before him, right? And David knew that. So he decided to depend on God. Okay, and finally, Daniel depended on God for his rescue. He didn't go in there with a sword or any kind of weapon that he could use against the lions, right? Even if he did, there was no way he would come out of there alive. So Daniel depended on God for his safety, right? So this week, as we think about Daniel and the lion's den, I want you to focus on 3 things. I want you to, number 1, add at least one more moment of prayer in your day. Okay, just think about maybe in the mornings when you wake up, that's one time. When you eat breakfast, let's see, maybe if you think about someone during the day that you're missing right now, you can pray. You can pray for them. Pray for lunch, and pray. Let's see, pray for dinner. Pray before you go to sleep. If you are doing work at home right now, you know that your teachers have assigned you and you're not really understanding it, remember, depend on God. Of course, you have to study, but you can also depend on God to help you acquire that knowledge, right? And to help you do the work that you've been given. Okay, number 2, I want you to be obedient without hesitation. So Daniel was obedient, right? Everything that God said to him, he would do. He wouldn't ask questions. So I want you to do the same. This week, when mom and dad, or grandma, or whoever you are with at this moment, if they ask you to do something, do it immediately without hesitation. Be obedient, right? And number 3, when you feel uncertain or afraid or just worried about something this week, I want you to remember that God can and will rescue you. Okay? And I hope you guys are doing well. I love you guys and I miss you. And I will see you next Sunday.
G'day mates, it's me, the Scripture Hunter. I'm out here in the wild doing some hunting, but not just any hunting. I'm hunting for Scripture. You know, God's holy word. I know it's around here somewhere. Oh, look, I found it. It's hiding on that animal over there. Looks like I'm gonna have to wrestle him for it. Here I go. Would you look at that? It's a power verse. And the power verse for today is, God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. Psalms 46:1. Wow, that was an amazing power verse. Now I need all my girls to stand up with me and say the power verse with the Scripture Hunter on the count of 3. Are you ready, girls? 1, 2, 3. God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. Psalms 46:1. Great job, girls. You sit down. All the boys stand up with me and say the power verse with the Scripture Hunter on the count of 3. Ready, boys? 1, 2, 3. God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. Psalms 46:1. Great job! You can have a seat. You know, that power verse reminds me of a time when I needed God's protection really bad. You see, I was out in the fields doing my regular scripture hunting when all of a sudden I found myself surrounded by laughing hyenas. And I don't know why they were laughing. I was terrified. I didn't see anything funny about the situation. And I just got down on my knees and I said, Lord, I need your protection right now. I'm so scared. And when I opened my eyes, the hyenas were gone. Then I started laughing. So, whenever you find yourself in need of God's protection, just remember to pray and know He'll be there for you. So, everyone stand to your feet and let's say this power verse one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. Psalms 46:1. Crikey, that was great! You can have a seat now. Well, kids, looks like that does it for me. I gotta get going and doing what I do best, and that is hunting scripture. So, until next time, if you see a scripture that needs a good hunter, just call on your favorite mate from down under.